Hey.
What it is, every revolution or every political movement or any kind of change, and having someone, okay, CIA, which is fucking for you to call me CIA when you know I'm not.
Everything was politicized. It was, oh, this is when we became the left versus the right. But both sides are trash. In COVID,
his own thing. So it seems to be that money's the issue, that like we're using money and that's how politics is being pushed. Because now we've seen what someone does when they use their own money and it doesn't seem to be a solution. So I feel like we take money out of politics, we'll have a much better political system.
Politician, you think they're gonna come out and tell me the truth? They was lying to my mama. They ain't gonna never tell us.
So everybody, we look at certain things just because, oh, this happens in the hood or we see this every day. All the way up. These people were speaking truth. King, we could talk X, we could talk it all. They were speaking truth.
What's going on in anyone's mind, but let's take it as a given that Gray's argument is true, that the argument to not have ID is that it would be discriminatory versus certain socioeconomic brackets or something. It's like
the world's greatest trial run of what people will do and what people won't do. And we are the only country on the planet that really fought against the government. A lot of it,
because you focus on 80-20 issues. I'm looking at the Epstein issue as we have 80% of the information we need to prosecute these people that actually did anything, but you're focusing on the 20% trying to take down Donald Trump, which you're never going to get. So I'm going to keep sitting here with a smug-ass face on every single day.
I'll explain. Good question. I'll give you the answer. The Republican Party constantly talks about transgenders and transgender surgery to minors.
I'm mostly on the left ideologically, but I don't associate with the Democrats because they're not ideologically on the left. The Democrats are clowns, and they're also losers.
About to be any engaging conversation. It's not about to be any discourse about different political ideologies, what works and what doesn't. If that is the outcome, right? For example, I'm not going to go and just put myself in the middle of a KKK rally.
Verify me, not a fucking Fed. They always do this. I'll say this, right? But they did the same thing to Nick. We've seen the video. They'll call people who are genuine and authentic Feds because
the interesting thing to me is that the ones that claim that they believe the Constitution are now trampling the Constitution. The ones that said they believed in the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, right, are now going against the freedom of
leadership perspective.
They don't have no plan. They don't ever talk about nothing positive about the Democrat Party. Everything is just anti-Trump. They're not willing to have a conversation. They call us fascists. We willing to have a conversation. Charlie Kirk's willing to have a conversation.
News has confirmed Reverend Jesse Jackson has died. For more than 5 decades, he stood as a towering figure of the civil rights movement, rising to prominence in the 1960s alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a vocal champion fighting for desegregation and equality for Black Americans and marginalized communities, a fierce advocate for voting rights.
Reverend Jackson was at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis the night Dr. King was assassinated. He was standing in the courtyard and was among the first to reach him after that fatal shot was fired.
He founded Operation Push, dedicated to improving the economic status of African Americans and disadvantaged groups. A trailblazer and 2-time presidential candidate, he ran for the Democratic nomination in 1984 and 1988. His Rainbow Coalition was designed to form a diverse alliance of African Americans, Latinos, Asian Americans, Native Americans, women, and the LGBTQ community. Reverend Jackson was visibly moved to tears when President Obama was first elected in 2008. The realization of his lifelong work and unparalleled victory of the civil rights movement. His life was dedicated to civil rights during some of America's most turbulent times. A legacy of steadfast activism, giving a voice to millions and helping reshape the American landscape. Here's ABC's Pierre Thomas with a look back at Jackson's life.
All of his life, the Reverend Jesse Jackson preaching, exhorting, demanding justice in a quest to help his people and nation overcome.
We ain't the bottom, we the foundation.
Always marching, civil rights nonviolent soldier. There he was, shoulder to shoulder with Martin Luther King Jr. after witnessing the beatings of Bloody Sunday on television. Jackson eventually became one of the top lieutenants in the critical Southern Christian Leadership Conference, which challenged the Jim Crow South's withering oppression. A witness to history, he was there on that fateful April evening when King was struck down by an assassin's bullet.
I tried to feel his head, and I asked him, I said, Dr. King, do you hear me? Dr. King, do you hear me? And he didn't say anything.
After a leadership struggle with King's successor, Reverend Ralph Abernathy, Jackson split from the SCLC and formed a new organization, People United to Save Humanity, PUSH.
Beautiful.
After Dr. King, I don't think anyone captured the spirit of America like Reverend Jackson, and he took the movement north. I think Jesse Jackson was the link from that generation of King and them all the way to my generation, and then the generation behind me.
The first wave of the civil rights movement had succeeded in breaking down significant barriers, but Jackson's primary focus was on economic empowerment.
We know that we're worthy of respect and protection, but nobody really knows our name, and so we're really still struggling.
He broke boundaries in politics, twice running for president, first in 1984 under the banner of a rainbow coalition.
Our flag is red, white, and blue, but our nation is rainbow. Red, yellow, brown, black, and white, we're all precious in God's sight.
In 1988, he was, for a time, the Democratic Party's frontrunner for the presidential nomination, winning 11 primaries and caucuses before eventually losing the nomination to Massachusetts Governor Michael Dukakis.
I'd rather go down in the stirring fight than drowse to death at the sheltered shore.
Jackson also took on the role of freelance international negotiator, meeting with some of the world's most brutal tyrants.
Overseas, the American black activist Jesse Jackson has become an intermediary in the Middle East.
In 1984, he met with Syria's Hafez al-Assad.
Goodman and the Reverend Jackson arrived at Andrews Air Force Base,
securing the release of downed American naval officer Lieutenant Robert Goodman. In 1990, he held talks with Saddam Hussein to free foreign nationals being held in Iraq as human shields. And in 1999, he went behind enemy lines again to meet with Slobodan Milosevic to negotiate the return of 3 American prisoners of war. At times, he was a spiritual advisor, counseling President Clinton in his darkest hour, facing impeachment over a sex scandal. But Jackson had his own moments where he fell far short of what he had championed. In the mid-1980s, facing controversy for allegedly making a highly offensive remark about the Jewish community.
I deny, and I do not recall ever making such a statement in any context that would be remotely construed as being either anti-Semitic or anti-Israel. However innocent and unintended, it was insensitive and wrong.
And as an ordained minister, having to admit in 2001 he had fathered a child after an affair with a former staffer. Although somewhat diminished, Jackson leaned in on his faith of forgiveness and redemption and kept fighting, keeping his eyes on the prize. He saw one of his hopes realized on election night in 2008 in Chicago's Grant Park.
America, I have never been more hopeful than I am tonight that we will get there.
He wept as President-elect Barack Obama delivered his victory speech. In recent years, the effects of age and a long illness had slowed his gait, but not his spirit. After the conviction of Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin for the killing of George Floyd, Jackson made it a point to be there in Minneapolis. Through it all, Jackson's faith and hope in what America could be endured.
America will get better and better. Keep hope alive.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Described him as one of the most dangerous men on the face of the earth.
Welcome to the Man Cave. Welcome to the Man Cave. I'm Gray Mars.
It's Mia.
It's Skeptic.
It's Kirsten.
We have a special guest, Kirsten. Kirsten, I took a video from your TikTok, so I'm going to play it, then you can introduce yourself.
Most awesome.
Anxiety-producing times of my life was my social justice warrior era. Looking back at my social media activity from 2015 until 2020 is particularly jarring. And to be clear, I was the chronically online academic theory type, but I was constantly getting into arguments with people in my personal life. And while it did make me miserable, it also made me feel so much better than everyone else. I can't tell you the last time I got a dopamine rush that hit as good as correcting someone in a college class. And it was always over something stupid too, like a woman calling her friends girlfriends. I remember summer of 2020 when everyone was posting the black squares and I unfollowed so many people because they didn't put one up. But then a couple days later, all of this feedback started coming out about how the black squares were preventing discoverability. And then a couple days after that, I had a real come to Jesus moment when I was typing a very long Facebook message to a friend. I don't even remember what exactly I was correcting or what I was trying to call her out on, but I had to stop very abruptly and be like, I don't want to live like this. It's exhausting, and these short hits of moral superiority that you get aren't worth the weight and the anxiety of the guilt and the fear over potentially saying something wrong. But trust me, there is someone out there who is profiting from that dysregulation.
Am I saying your name right, Kirsten?
Kirsten. But yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, introduce yourself, tell people where they can find you.
Awesome. I am Kirsten Falls West on TikTok. I have been on that platform talking about kind of the outrage economy and our current state of political polarization for about a year now, but I've really ramped it up in the last couple of months. So excited to be here.
Mia, how do you feel about Jesse Jackson passing? Do you feel like, he was a civil activist? He has a great reputation, because I learned some stuff in that video that I didn't know. So what do you think about Jesse Jackson?
I hope he rests in peace. I hope he's at peace, and I hope his passing was painless and quick. I am sending many blessings to his family. He was a true Black American patriot. He did the tough stuff when it was hard, and he was there through some very pivotal moments in this country. So I think regardless of anything, I hope his family, I hope they're adjusting well, and I hope it was just painless and fast. End of life care can be very difficult. That's what I do for a living. So I just really, my heart goes out to the family. It's no good to lose your grandfather or your father or somebody that is a cornerstone of your family. And I hope everybody's doing okay.
So a video was going viral, old video where people are using Jesse Jackson to prove that Trump's not racist.
Reaching out and being inclusive, he's done that too. And created for many people a comfort zone when I ran for the presidency in 84 and 88. And many others thought it was either laughable or something to avoid. He came to our business meeting here in New York because he has this sense of the curious and a will to risk to make things better. And so aside from all of his style and his pizzazz, he's a serious person.
I will tell you, a large percentage of the people, and especially in construction, that are building these great jobs are Black and minorities, and I'm very proud of it. We have close to 25%, and I think the number's going up. And They do a great job. There are no better builders than we have in New York, and a big percentage of that is Black and minority folks. So I just want to thank everybody in the room for being here. I look forward to some questions. And then I don't know how we're ever going to leave this building today, because if you look outside, it is terrible. But we'll figure a way. There's always a way. And thank you, Jesse, and congratulations.
Slim, I know you love saying how Trump is a racist. So does that clip with Jesse Jackson prove that Trump has a love for minorities?
I mean, there's plenty of things that prove it. I mean, whoever believed that Trump is a racist is just literally out of touch with reality. So it doesn't really matter. But yeah, they were friends in the end. And, you know, everything that Mia said was definitely on point. Jesse was one of the real ones. I like to say he was one of those last real Democrats that we should have. But yeah, man, salute, rest in peace, man, rest his soul.
So Trump did tweet, and he said Jesse Jackson's a force of nature, but I have this person that's playing it.
President Donald Trump announced that Reverend Jesse Jackson had passed away at 84 years old and said he knew him personally long before becoming president. He said Jackson was a man with grit, personality, and street smarts who truly loved people. Trump highlighted that he supported Jackson's efforts by providing office space for the Rainbow Coalition and backing policies like criminal justice reform, long-term HBCU funding, and opportunity zones. He also acknowledged Jackson's influence in national politics and ended by sending condolences to his family. The Bible teaches in Romans 13:7 to give honor to whom honor is due. That means recognizing someone's impact and contributions, even if you don't agree on everything. The Bible calls us to show respect, humility, and compassion, especially in moments of loss. Publicly acknowledging good where it exists reflects biblical character, not political compromise. If you want to stay up to date with politics from a
So, Skeptic, I know you hard on Trump. Was that biblical? Was Trump being a good Christian? Well, like, you know, he was friends with Jesse Jackson. So what do you think?
I think you can be friends with someone. I think you can be married to someone who you don't share a race with and still be racist. Like that has nothing to do with you being racist or having like a mentality, or like you're upholding a certain idea that you yourself haven't really thought through. So I think the fact that Trump was sued by the Fair Housing Act of 1968 because he was literally putting C's on applications for people that were trying to get an apartment on one of his buildings kind of speaks for itself. And the fact that his administration has been detrimental to the Black community, Black veterans and Asian veterans, and removing them from websites, removing their memories from the fact that they put their life at risk, like speaks more than having a friendship with Jesse Jackson. But I will say my respects for Jesse Jackson. I'm not the type of person that has to 100% agree with somebody to respect that person and to be able to see that they were a pioneer and like a trendsetter and they did a lot of good things. He also fought for redlining. He fought for like fair housing, which is kind of ironic. So I think that he did a lot of great things. And, you know, like I said on TikTok earlier this week, I'm not the type of person to speak ill of somebody who did such a great thing for a community and literally their whole life stood for something and never changed.
Well, Jesse Jackson said that the United States is a blanket, is a quilt, not a blanket.
It's not like a blanket, one piece of unbroken cloth, the same color, the same texture, the same size. America's more like a quilt, many patches, many pieces, many colors, many sizes, all woven and held together by a common thread. The white, the Hispanic, the Black, the Arab, the Jew, the woman, the Native American, the small farmer, the business person, the environmentalist, the peace activist, the young, the old, the lesbian, the gay, and the disabled make up the American quilt. Even in our fractured state, all of us count and fit somewhere. We have proven that we can survive without each other, but we have not proven that we can win and make progress without each other. We must come together.
Kirsten, is America a quilt, not a blanket?
I could see some instances for that being correct, right? I think in the press conference earlier this morning with the Jackson family, one of Jackson's sons, I forget which one, called out the fact that he wanted everyone to come to the celebrations of life, and that his father's legacy was broad enough to cover everything that it meant to be American, and focused a lot on kind of using, these sort of instances as being a coming together point, which I think is a really interesting way to look at it, particularly in this era when any sort of political death or loss is immediately polarized. So to that extent, I would say yes, I think America could be a quill.
Okay, for sure. So I'm gonna play someone attacking Jesse Jackson. That's Benny Johnson.
Breaking news as of this morning is that Jesse Jackson is dead. He lived a long life. He lived a life doing a lot of things that I totally disagree with. Complete and total race hustler. Obviously, a lot of damage, enormous amount of damage to the country and the fabric of the nation itself, which just sought to effectively manipulate the American people along race lines and to try and break us off into sectarian groups in order to create the type of violence that you see all across the rest of the globe. It's awful what they've done. It's called race communism. It stems from critical theory, but what his ideology was is evil, okay? And that's worth saying.
So what exactly did Jesse Jackson do that was evil, Benny? Was it registering black voters in the South, or pushing corporations to hire people who were historically shut out? Was it running for president and expanding the Democratic coalition? Be specific, because saying race hustler and enormous damage without a single fucking policy isn't analysis. It's you using phrases designed to trigger applause from your followers. And this idea that he divided America into sectarian groups. Look, I'm not some Jesse Jackson apologist, but America was legally segregated within living memory. Housing discrimination isn't ancient history. Voter suppression isn't folklore. When Jesse Jackson was organizing, the divisions were already there, and pointing out the massive flaws in the system is not the same as causing them. And let's talk about your timing. A black civil rights leader passes away, and within hours, you label his ideology as evil and tie it to race communism and critical theory without explaining a single intellectual link. If you want to criticize his tactics, fine. If you want to say he was opportunistic, say that. Politicians are opportunistic, but so are YouTubers. But if your entire argument boils down to civil rights activism equals Marxism, you're not citing history. You're feeding your base that has been trained to hear race and respond with fear. And when someone like
Slim, was Jesse Jackson a race hustler?
I don't believe so. I think he was doing what he can. He learned from the best. He learned from a black Republican, you know what I mean? Keep that in mind. So at the end of the day, man, one thing that we forget about this country and what makes it beautiful is that we have the right to opinion. And, we have the right to freedom of speech. And how you feel is how you feel. What's reality is truth. That's going to come out anyway. But at the end of the day, to be judged by the people, that should be always wrong. You know what I mean? Just let people live, but you do have the right to your opinion. But everybody's going to say something negative, and there's going to be people that's going to say something positive. But I believe if they're not talking about you, you're not doing something right. So shout out to him.
This is what another controversial civil rights leader had to say, Al Sharpton, about Jesse Jackson.
Jackson changed American politics. Jesse Jackson changed the civil rights movement. He was a consequential and transformative figure. I always wondered how much trauma that must have been for him to witness Reverend King's assassination. He never would talk about it too much, but it drove him. He kept saying, we got to keep Dr. King's dream alive. He never stopped. I once said to him, you already in history, you've gotten all the honors. Why do you keep going? He said, I never learned how to retire. He said, you got to remember, Al, Dr. King was killed at 39 years old. Medgar Evers was killed at 39 years old. Malcolm X was killed at 39. We were never raised to be 40 years old. He said, I woke up one day at 55, there's no retirement plan for us. And he kept going until this morning. Never got the credit he was due. But he said to me that those that need the credit don't deserve it, and those that deserve the credit don't need it. Well, I'm gonna make sure as long as I'm alive, he gets the credit. Unlike many other ministers that I looked up to, I didn't come from a high pedigree, nice family with my father and grandfather and great-grandfather preachers. My father left. Jesse was born out of wedlock. He taught me, his slogan was, I am somebody. It's not how you're born, it's where you go with it. So he made me believe even a kid on welfare in Brownsville, Brooklyn, could be somebody. Reverend Jackson had a saying that he used to tell me that became something I lived by. He said, turn your scars into stars. And they can raise the controversy, but the fact that they've got to raise them at all means that he made his point. He made a fact. Nobody thought a kid born out of wedlock on Haney Street in South Carolina would be where he was. So sometime when you're climbing up steep mountains, you might slip and skid your knee. But the story is he climbed that mountain. Well, everything Dr. King and Reverend Jackson stood for is at risk right now.
Mia, what is the future of civil rights in America? Because now these civil rights activists are dying, and you know a lot of civil rights legislation has been passed. So, what's the future of civil rights in America? Or activism?
I mean, we're always going to have activism. We're always going to have civil rights people. I mean, Reverend Jackson had children. Dr. King had children. Their children had children. Their children will have more children. I mean, my family, half of my family comes from South Carolina, where a lot of these activists were born and raised. My own father was born in Jim Crow, South Carolina. So, I mean, there will always be Black American activists fighting for equality, or I would, at this point in time, I would say equity more than equality, because equity makes a little bit more sense.
For sure. So I'm going to play his catchphrase that he said on Sesame Street.
Ready on the stump? Yeah. Okay, here we go. I am somebody. I am somebody. I may be poor, but I am somebody. I may be young, but I am somebody. I may be on welfare, but I am somebody. I may be small, but I am somebody. I may make a mistake, but I am somebody. My clothes are different. My face is different. My hair is different. But I am somebody. I am black, brown, white. I speak a different language, but I must be respected, protected, never rejected. I am God's child. I am somebody. Give yourself a big hand.
Skeptic, you're on the left. Is that phrase, I am somebody, is that something that can be used today in 2026?
Yeah, I think it is. And I think it's very fitting. I think we sometimes look at like Martin Luther King, or we look at Rosa Parks and we think like it's unattainable to stand for something and to actually hold strong to your beliefs and your ideas. But I think, like I always say, we are the change. We are the people that have to move forward with a baton and fight for the same things, because we're literally seeing rights be under attack. Like, if nobody says anything, we should be the ones to stand up and say something. We should be the ones advocating. And I think that change and technology and advancements kind of change the way that we look at the way advocates, sorry, today I cannot think of words. What am I trying to say? Like when you go out and you advocate for something, I cannot think of what word I was going to say. But anyways, so I do think that the way that we communicate is changing. Like I always say, TikTok, Discord, you have all these different avenues in which you can get a message out. But I think we have to continue to fight for rights. We have to continue to fight for the same ideas. The same ideas are still under attack. They just present differently.
So I feel like LGBTQ plus and trans rights is like the new thing that's going on. So we're going to talk about a trans story where a father who's a trans ended up deleting his family.
Police say this Rhode Island dad showed up to his own son's high school hockey game, killed his son, killed his ex-wife, and shot his in-laws before he killed himself, and he identified as transgender. Police say the shooter was Robert Dorgan, but he went by Roberta because he had transitioned. So back in 2020, he had gender reassignment surgery, according to court documents, goes in, gets that all done. His wife says, I can't take this anymore. I'm filing for divorce. And in the paperwork, she said it was because of his transitioning and also his personality problems. So now Roberta's social media posts are under investigation, and I'll show you why. So just hours before the shooting, Roberta is online posting all these things on X, sticking up for trans Congress member Sarah McBride, telling people to back off. In one post writing this in part, don't be so hurt over somebody different, then wonder why trans people go effing berserk. So more information will come out as they continue to dig in here out in Rhode Island, but one thing the police do know for sure is that this was a targeted shooting.
Kirsten, this is your first time on the show. What's your thought of that story and, trans rights in general?
Yeah, I haven't really done much research into that story in particular. I think I saw a headline, so I don't want to have a fully informed opinion on this particular story. But one thing that strikes me about violence in general is that I think it's an outgrowth of radicalization. And I do see, particularly in this kind of conversation, there being a lot of radicalization on both sides. And I know everybody hates the both sides critique, but I think that it's accurate in this instance, at least.
Okay, for sure. That makes sense. I'm going to play the actual clip. Viewer discretion is advised. Mia, you sent this topic to the group chat. What's your thoughts on this whole situation?
First and foremost, I think it's sad and unfortunate. That man not only killed his ex-wife, but he killed his own kid, one of his own children. And then he set the scene for another one of their children, whenever one of his kids were actually on the ice. So imagine watching your father shoot your mother point blank, shoot your older brother point blank, and shoot both your grandparents. So, I mean, the whole situation is sad. I couldn't imagine watching that as a high schooler. And I just think this country needs better mental health for everybody all around. Everybody, we don't spend nearly enough time on mental health services or put enough money into mental health services. Because clearly that man and many other people are very mentally ill. He murdered half his family in front of people and did not give a fuck. And then he killed himself because, why would he stay and have to be the bearer of his own consequences?
Slim, did you have anything to say about it?
Mental health, man. I've been saying that for a minute, They try to perceive these things as being normal. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just going to show what's going on. I believe it's all revelation in the flesh, man. Everybody's seeing the end of that book, man. And we have to really analyze what's really going on. This is not a normal thing. We can't ignore this. We can't act like, our children are supposed to think that this is normal. This is okay. This person can identify as, and you can be who you want to be. And that's crazy, man. We have to look at what's going on. I'm good. I'm just saying, if people can't see what's cracking, there's nothing much I could say.
So, supposedly Trump is afraid that Texas is going to flip blue. Stephen Colbert's interview with a guy running for Senate was banned, so he released it on YouTube. Here's a portion of the interview.
Tallarico. Thank you. Now, here's the thing. I don't usually say this to a guest, but if people are watching this right now, it's because they found us online on YouTube. I did an act of the show that's on tonight explaining why. It's not the first time you've caused some drama. FCC opening probe into The View after appearance by Tallarico. Do you mean to cause trouble?
I think that Donald Trump is worried that we're about to flip Texas.
All right, Skeptic, you're in Texas. That's the guy that's running against Jasmine Crockett. Do you feel like it's a chance that Texas could flip blue? And are you supporting him or are you supporting Jasmine Crockett?
Jasmine Crockett all the way. I do think that Texas, we've already seen it in certain elections where Latinos are coming out to vote. We've been advocating for Latinos to go register, for you to come out and vote blue. One of the things that Jasmine Crockett said that was very important was that Texas is like the demographic of the population is 60% Black and brown. So if we can get enough people to come out and vote, like we can take a lot of these elections, like we can flip Texas blue. And I think that it would make a big change for Texas. What's currently going on in Texas, as far as the immigrant community goes, I feel like is mind-blowing to me that Texas can be red. Like the fact that there are a large percentage of immigrants in Texas and you're seeing these very heinous things go on in the immigrant community, I feel like should enrage Latinos and all immigrants in Texas to come out, register to vote, go get your ID, go do what you need to do and vote so you can cause change for your community.
So this is what Jasmine Crockett had to say about him.
Who is not one of my guests tonight? That's Texas State Representative James Tallarico. He was supposed to be here, but we were told in no uncertain terms by our network's lawyers, who called us directly, that we could not have him on the broadcast. Then I was told in some uncertain terms that not only could I not have him on, I could not mention me not having him on. And because my network clearly doesn't want us to talk about this, let's talk about this. You've probably heard.
We did receive information suggesting that the federal government did not shut down this segment, number one. That is my understanding, that the federal government didn't shut this down. And we will do an official statement once we get another official statement that we anticipate is going to be coming from Paramount. All right, so we will read what they say, and then we'll go from there. It is our understanding that Colbert, either Mr. Colbert or CBS, decided that they would get on the air. And this was because of a fear that the FCC may say something to them, and that there may have been advice to just have me on, and then they could clear the issue. It was my understanding that someone somewhere decided we just don't want to do that, and instead we're going to just do it this way.
Sorry, is it Kristen or Kirsten again?
It's Kirsten.
Kirsten. So do you think that his interview was really banned, and does it matter? Because Jasmine Crockett is saying that it wasn't banned at their line.
Yeah, from what I read, it was, again, like kind of network, like she said, it wasn't directly the federal government saying you have to pull this segment. It was the network and the network's lawyers taking, a judgment with the company's best interests at heart, that the FCC is currently, I think, reviewing an exception for broadcasters. When there is an election, they have to give equal time to both candidates. So when she's alluding to, they would have to have me on, that would sort of meet those requirements. And so it was more of the legal team saying, this doesn't meet these requirements. And so our advice is to not go forward with the segment.
For sure. That makes sense. So a child actor acted crazy this weekend in New Orleans. Shia LaBeouf. Who grew up watching Disney Channel?
Oh, definitely.
I did too.
So, like with child actors, is this just a thing that just happened? Because Shia LaBeouf has been going in this downward spiral for actually some time, and I don't remember the name of the show. Do y'all remember the name of the show that he was on?
Even
Stevens.
So we all seem to know. So what do y'all think about Shia LaBeouf?
I think he got his ass whooped because New Orleans don't play that. I don't know if y'all been to Mardi Gras, but you gotta tread lightly. Folks down south don't play. I think he was fighting somebody or he got belligerent. And then from what I heard, he they whooped his ass and then he got arrested on top of that. And now he's back out there because I've seen him on TikTok. People said, I found Shia LaBeouf. He's still out here.
Yeah, I got a clip of him responding to it right here.
Oh, hello, hi. Are you a famous person? No. No? Are you? It's nice to see you. Did you get out of 7 Locks today?
What?
I heard you got out of the situation today. There's some
that an
crazy
ice pack?
protesters. Come. Hey, those guys. Sorry to tell these guys. Yeah. Well, you have a good rest of your day, man. It's nice to see you. Oh, well, that's Shia LaBeouf.
Kirsten, you an Eva Stevens fan? What did you think? You think Shia LaBeouf, the child actor, messed his mind up?
Look, I not to put my tinfoil hat on too tight, but talking about mental health, I think there is an absolute mental health crisis among the child actor community, and I think there are some, more unsavory, maybe interpretations as to why and things that they were exposed to in the industry that they work in. But yeah, feel for the guy.
So Mia, we're gonna talk about your favorite artist. You say she's removing some surgery.
That was the most ass I ever seen. I'm taking some out. After the store, I don't want to hear.
Oh my God.
Nobody
I saw
for
her
3
in
months.
Vegas.
I'm going to Colombia. Nobody hit me up. Nobody nothing. I'm taking this ass
She needs
out.
to. I can only imagine how bad the smell is, man. That's just unnatural.
We got close to her and I didn't smell nothing. That's all I'm gonna say. She was dancing, so
Oh man, I understand getting a little bit of extra added, especially when you're doing the fat transfers. But, I mean, the amount of ass she has and the thigh tells me that that's added extra, right? She didn't have enough fat deposits in places where they would take and move to, She was never huge to begin with. Nicki Minaj too. If you look at their pictures from the early 2000s, they were petite. Nicki Minaj, if you look at her teenage picture, she was tiny. She was petite, short, petite. So, I mean, they clearly couldn't do fat transfers because there's no fat to transfer. So I'm just wondering, to be a fly on the wall, I want to know what's in there. I want to know what they're pumping in there. Really.
Well, apparently she got too much, but because she keep falling.
Imagine having so much ass you can't even stand up no more.
That was the government. That was the government.
I literally just want to know what is in there. I'm curious what is in there.
She was screaming that it's the government. So, I mean, there's a conspiracy. Slim, you were conspiracy theorist, so she said it was the government. And the only other guy on here, is it too much? Does Cardi B have too much surgery?
Yeah, it's definitely too much. It's fake. She can't hold that weight. Her body ain't really ready for that. The bones is designed for a certain amount of weight. God made you a certain way so you could hold a certain amount of weight. Now, when she get older, that shit just gonna be dragging her ass down. And that's just what it is. She's starting to realize it. A lot of people gonna go through that.
Well,
Stay tuned.
What's sad is we went from, you know, if you look at Black American female, like music artists specifically, like in the 90s, we went from like natural women. Nobody really had plastic surgery. Everybody was just natural. And then all of a sudden it's like we hit this wall of you have to have surgery, top and bottom surgery in order to make it. Like, you know, I thought Lisa Left Eye Lopez was beautiful. I wanted to be just like her when I was growing. I thought she was beautiful. She had a very athletic body. I mean, all of them had a nice athletic bodies. Aaliyah, beautiful. Like, they had no work done. Even the supermodels. I mean, Iman, these women were beautiful. No work done. And I don't know what happened to our community to think the only way we can make it is if we have work done. I don't know what happened. I don't know who paid what. Maybe it's a CIA psyop. I don't know, tinfoil hat on. But all of a sudden we went from like beautiful, athletic looking, healthy looking women who could sing. There were no auto-tune to all of a sudden now all we have auto-tune. Nobody can sing and everybody is consuming copious amounts of drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what happened.
Check it out, ladies. Just to let you in on a little secret, we don't really like the fake shit. Real men don't like fake bodies. You can ask any real man this. He'll tell you he would rather a natural woman. Straight up.
I think it depends, Slim. But Cardi B, she keep falling. She fell on with a robot. I'm telling y'all, it's like multiple clips of her falling everywhere.
That's what's gonna be happening, man.
So this is the Man Cave, but today we have more women than men. So I'm gonna play a clip from Cam Newton where Cam Newton has, I think, like 5 baby mamas. And
this man. He's as bad as young boy. What are you doing to us? That man.
So, hey, he got like 5 baby mamas and 9 kids, and he said that if a woman has however many kids a woman has, loses her value. But I'll let y'all hear.
Let's just be honest. If we're talking about hierarchy, you've been with your husband how many years?
Not that many. We knew.
It's new as well.
We went friend to fiance. Let's say 6 months.
Okay, cool. 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if you had a 3-year-old? You still gonna choose your fiance over your 3-year-old?
Is it his baby?
It don't matter who it is.
I mean, it really doesn't matter. You're right. I'm not choosing a fiance. I'm choosing my husband.
Because this is what I want you to understand.
Yes.
You've been married for 6 months, right? That child has been in your life for 3 years. 3 years and 9 months. The hierarchy there is like, it's my responsibility to nurture this.
I got to ask you a question because for me, that's really hard for me to even wrap my mind around because I won't be baby mamaed without a commitment of marriage. So it's hard for me to wrap my mind around having a 3-year-old and then having a new man. Now, I know that happens every single day and there is no right or wrong way, but so this is my question. Do you feel like women's value gets lowered when they have multiple children by multiple men?
I just think that the reality of that answer is women's value get lower the more children that they have.
Break that down.
Because, and I was having this conversation, with one of the mother of my children, and she's still fine. You feel what I'm saying? But like I was telling her, I was like, the guy that you're dating or will date, if he ain't willing to love on these 5 children that you have, that ain't the guy for you. Because when I came into your life, I was willing to accept you and whatever you had. And there's guys that's out there that's just going to say, them ain't my kids, I want you. Well, that ain't how it worked. But that's not to say that she can't find nobody.
Right.
I'm pretty sure she has somebody.
Right. But do you feel like it's as the best that she could possibly do if she didn't have children?
Well, you're talking to a dude that was once in her life. I don't feel like she's going to get better than me. That's just my confidence.
I don't even think it's confidence. I have said, and I might get eaten alive, I don't think most women do better than the father of their children.
No,
I really don't think
like
that.
it's real love.
That's the barometer.
So it's the ladies' cave tonight. Kirsten, you're the guest. What do you think about what Cam Newton said?
It wasn't as inflammatory as the headline made it sound like it was going to be, right? I think there's a lot of talk about high value, low value dating content, and I'm a little exhausted of it. I used to get a lot more triggered up by it than I do now. But I think anytime I hear someone say, high value, low value, I try to listen and try to find, a half truth in there, but it does, I tune it out sometimes.
Skeptic, what about you?
I will say this. I've learned to listen to how men think before I come up with my own idea, because men kind of all think the same, kind of. I will say women we're kind of we think differently. Like I can talk to a girl and she can think completely different than me, but men kind of tend to have the same little summaries of things. I don't know why. Kind of come to the same conclusion. I can see maybe biologically there is a different aspect of which men are coming to a situation in. If you feel like you're going to have to be responsible, maybe you're looking at children as more of a responsibility than you are from a love perspective, because as mothers, maybe we're coming in and looking at it from a nurturing perspective. So I can look at it from that perspective. I can see how men would say something like that, and I don't necessarily agree with them. Regardless, if men think like that, as women, we have to understand how to speak to men, or how to confront this issue with them so they can change their way of thinking. And I think attacking or coming to a man and being you're just a misogynist, that's not going to change his way of thinking. Maybe it's the aspect of coming from a nuanced perspective. We are in a new day and age. Just because a woman has children doesn't mean that she needs you to provide for her. She probably can provide for herself, and maybe the father of her children is involved in their lives. Maybe they don't even need a father. They have a father. This is just a nuanced conversation that we have to have. And sometimes it's hard for us to catch up because we're in this old way of thinking.
Mia?
I think he's a trash bag human being, and we just throw the whole fucking man out. Throw the whole man out. It's always men with mad baby mamas who make all these broken homes, who's never been married, who's never had commitment, always got something to say, man. And always has something to say. Men with the lowest moral value possible always have something to say. Because real men, real high value men don't be having these conversations. You know why? They don't care. They don't care. Normal people don't really care on a day-to-day basis. But Cam Newton's a trash bag human being. He walks around and gets all these women pregnant, doesn't commit to any of them, and then doesn't want to admit that he's lowered their value because he knows if he's painted with the same brush, that makes him a low value human being. So he doesn't really want to commit to that low or high value thing there. He tried to skirt that a little bit. But he's a trash bag person who has left a slew of broken homes and statistically added a little negativity in his kids' lives, because statistics tell us children do better in a communal setting with parents that are there. But he has 50,000 kids. So how well is he parenting these children if there's so many spread across so many homes? You can't be there every single night and hit every single baby mom's home to read books and to check in and ask about homework and keep up with the teachers. Unless his parent infinity campus app must be going wild with all those kids. I know I get a ton of emails of my kids. He must be going wild with his. He must how do you come up with all those names for these kids? That's my big question, is how do dudes be trying to name? It's baby number 7. Hold it and trying to figure out what name to give a baby number 7. I'm just saying, it's so crazy to me that people with the lowest moral standing always have something to say. Always got something to say.
Yeah, you got to start naming them numbers at that point. But
right? It's like Stranger Things. Number 7, number 5, 56 over there. I mean, and you know, your best friend there, NBA Youngboy, is going to be about that like too. He's got like 12. Now.
Ask Nick Cannon, because he literally takes family pictures with every one of his baby mamas. And I'm just like, you know, his schedule is full. Like,
well, Trump is having his Black History Month at the White House.
I love Nicki Minaj. She was here a couple of weeks ago. She's so beautiful. Her skin's so beautiful. I said, Nicki is so beautiful. Her nails are like that long. I said, Nicki, are they real? She said, she didn't want to get into that. But she was so beautiful and so great. And she gets it, you know, more importantly, frankly, she gets it.
And our castmate, our boy, Mr. Rippy, is at the White House right now.
Let's go, baby. I mean, this man has been making it happen on social media. Daggone it. If you ain't following him, you should. You should be following. That's why you're looking at the video, daggone. Come on now. Get it together.
My man Topher. I have to make a quick interruption and let you know, guys, Black History Month was not canceled.
No, not at all.
I don't know who sprayed that.
Not coming back. Who said that? Not coming back.
Yes, they said to me yesterday, I'm surprised they didn't cancel. I said, why would they cancel it?
We ain't doing that.
Nothing happened.
Black History Month is here in full effect. Look what's going on.
We are Black History.
See more.
We are Black History.
Yes. Making history. That'll make it funnier. Shout out to Black History Month. Black History Month is not canceled, y'all.
No, it's not.
Look what's going on. Come on.
We Black History. Man, what's up, Rippler? Hey,
Greg Long
it's
in
the man right here.
What's good with you, homie? Hey, man, come on, man. You make me look bad. Right ring name Jones in the building. What's up with you?
What's going on?
Yo.
My man.
Hey, what's going on?
Black History Month.
In the White House, Black History Month, Black
Excellence. I don't know, like, whenever somebody tells you that Trump is racist or this admin is racist or whatever, you just show them this video and show them this crowd.
Show them this. Look at this. Come on.
Oh, man, let's go, huh? Come on now.
Black History Month is not canceled, folks. Come on. Look who it is.
What's up?
Great. Kimberly in the building. What's up? Good to see you. Always a pleasure.
Slim, what was your invite at? Why you wasn't out there? You muted.
Nah, I was gonna say I was working, man, you know, but it's good to see Rippy out there handling business, man. And again, hey, that's a lot of Black Trump supporters, man. I mean, it feels good to see that, man. So I'm living through Rip. I'm cool with it.
For sure. If you watch it right now, hit that subscribe button and press that notification bell to know when we go live. Mia, what's your final thoughts?
This has been a great episode. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. If you're not following us, please do follow us. Please like and subscribe to live. And you can also find me at It's Mia, Not Maya. I am very active on TikTok, but I'm also trying to grow my Instagram. So please follow me on Instagram at It's Mia, Not Maya. And I do want to say thoughts and prayers, rest in peace to Jesse Jackson. Regardless if you liked him or not, he is a Black American pioneer, and I am extremely saddened to see another Black American pioneer, especially during Black History Month, pass. But hopefully him and his family, they're doing okay.
For sure. Kirsten, right? I said it right?
It's Kirsten, but that's okay.
Kristen, okay. What's your final thoughts?
You said it wrong.
Thank you for being a great guest. We'll definitely have to have you back. What's your final thoughts?
Yeah, this was a great discussion. I, appreciated the breadth of everything that we covered, and yes, rest in peace, Reverend Jackson as well.
For sure. Skeptic, what's your final thoughts?
I did want to say congratulations to Rippy. I have been like on doing all this stuff, but that is really awesome. Even if we don't agree, like I said, I think it's really awesome that he was able to go to the White House. So W Rippy, and yeah, rest in peace, Reverend Jackson. And I also want to say, I think that a lot of people think talking about issues, I was talking about this week, I think people take disagreeing with somebody as if something we cannot get over. But I think the more that you speak to someone, whether you agree with them or not, challenging your views is always a good thing. Continuing to have conversations in which you disagree with somebody is a positive thing that we should all be practicing on the weekly, if you can't on the daily. So anyways, with that being said, follow us on TikTok, The Skeptic, and we will be back on Monday with the Man Cave.
For sure. Slim, what's your final thoughts?
Yeah, another good show. Shout out to Rip, man. That was real huge, man. So that was real dope. But rest in peace, Reverend Jackson. Oh yeah, that J. Cole album is out too. I need to go hear that. But Man Cave, we out.
For sure. Congratulations, Mr. Rippy. I've seen some of the videos that you've been putting, y'all real funny. Congratulations to you guys. Tomorrow they're going to be talking about the White House and the Catholics under attack. I'll be back. Nora will be hosting that. Great show. RP to Jesse Jackson. Cardi B, hopefully the surgery keep you from falling. Have a great night. Man Cave.
Before we wrap, I want to take a quick moment to talk about how you can support the New Party. We are an independent media platform. No corporate backers, no political handlers, just a collection of voices representing all American viewpoints, especially the stories they don't want you talking about.
I'm disgusted with our government, and it doesn't matter which party you're talking about. I'm disgusted.
We are watching an active genocide. I don't know how else to put it. There are thousands of people getting killed every day.
This is the first time in history that an American cardinal has ever been elevated to pope. It is legitimately make America great again.
Yeah.
Like, they're fighting for illegal immigrants, not immigrants. Illegal. Like, and they burning the flag and shit.
Like I always say, it was a great episode. I'm happy with the wins that Donald Trump's.
Like you heard Nora Skeptic say, we're going to keep bringing like different types of content and things that we know people want to see. And like we always say on the New Party, always vote.
If you believe Americans can still have civil discourse, even in these polarizing times, we need your help to stay independent and keep growing. You can support us by donating to our GoFundMe page, becoming a channel member, sending a super chat, or grabbing merch from the New Party store. Every donation goes directly toward growing the channel promotion and our upcoming documentary. And as a thank you, donors will receive an exclusive copy of the documentary 1 week before it premieres. Who is the New Party? We're you, your voice, your stories, your America. We can only do this together. So if you're able, please donate and help us get the message out.